It's time now for this week's shocking stat of the week. And you want to know why economic growth is stifled? Well, I want you to consider this brand new report just read by James Gattuso and Diane Katz-Thomas of the A. Institute for Economic Policy Studies. Okay, they were looking at the incredible growth in regulation. They found that over 20,000 rules were issued between January 21st, 2009, when President Obama came into office, and they got it up to last year. So it was the period between third week in January 2009, third week 2015. So 20,000 new rules. Of those, 566 were classified as major and defined for most purposes as rules that have an annual impact on the economy of at least $100 million. But it gets worse than that. Reviewing each of those 566 rules, they found that 229 increased the regulatory burden on the private sector. Only 26 were designed to decrease the regulatory burden. All in all, here's the number. The net annual cost of the new regulations is $108 billion every year. Every year. And that doesn't include this past year, by the way, but every year. It's an ongoing thing. $108 billion. Think about that. Additional cost. And two things come to mind. We still have people that we pretend are to making sense who talk about an era of unfettered capitalism. That was always nonsense. It is nonsense. The regulatory burden is unbelievable. And when you think of that, $108 billion in extra costs from just January, third week of January 2009. But the other one that comes to mind is, we've got governments, individuals wondering why we can't get more robust economic growth. I always come back to that because we put too many obstacles in its way. That governments have increased the regulatory burden and the taxation burden, and then they turn around and go, gee, I wonder why the economy isn't expanding. Well, you just have to look to Europe, how bad that process has been, how bad that recipe is. But anyways, that's my shocking stat of the week.